Why are investments so important? Well, I would like to start off this by saying that this is for educational purposes only, so I'm not giving any advice, but why are investments so important? I get it a lot, especially from people that hear like, "Oh, is cryptocurrency an investment? What about stocks? How am I making money?" And the truth is that it's really an investment. You expect something in return. You put money in, you expect a return, usually in a percent. But why is this so important? And really, it has to do with making a plan for the future because the problem is that not many people actually know just how powerful investments are. And the earlier you start, the more your investments are worth, which is something more people to know, especially college students. That's why it's so important. And not only that, but even just making a plan of how am I gonna invest in. Really, there's a lot of different ways you can invest and also different financial products that really help you get there. And I think it's more things that people need to know. And I decided to do it as a job, why investments are so important. And right now I'm a financial representative, but really it's that investments are so important because there are so many things that go on and that you need money to save, and investments will get you there. It's not really anything else. Like if you put money into a savings account, yeah, it's very liquid amount of money. It's that sort of asset, but it's bleeding money and inflation. And really, the best investments are the ones. Yeah, you take on some risk, like the stock market. I mean, really, the best one's just S&P 500. It's the simplest, but every investment needs to be personalized. That's the thing because everybody has their own life situation, and even just consulting somebody about investments or making a financial plan is why investments are that important. And not only that, but really, I can't stress enough how many people realize that they needed to invest after it's too late. I hear so many people say, I should have invested years ago. I would have had so much more money." And that's really why they're so important. It's because they take time to grow, and also it just lets you live a better life if you make investments. A lot of investments pay distributions in the form of dividends, and it takes a lot of discipline that you're really not going to get by yourself, and especially in this reality. I mean, you really need somebody to show you. And you know I just want to make these videos to really help educate and make it pretty simple that like these things are important. And I really can't stress enough. I mean, this is why I got an internship making these kinds of things and helping people. I mean, I gotta figure out sales cycle, all these different things, but it's the base thing is investments are so important. Why not help somebody get there? And it's just it's so important. I'm trying to think. If you think about it, like if you put a certain amount in, over time it grows, and you may not think while it's growing too much of it, but trust me, when you get to that point, like saying, like you started saving money in your 20s, like you're a stud, you got your finances right. You're saying, oh, I'm putting a certain part of my income and maybe after tax income into a Roth IRA. Then for whoever I'm working for, I got a 401k. And like when you get to 60 years old and you had those 40 years of money that you've been saving, you won't even believe it's possible. It's like, I mean, even just putting a simple amount in will get you millions. It's crazy. Like a couple $100, man, it gets you millions. And it just takes time, and the most important thing is time. I mean, someone who starts in their 20s will be way ahead of somebody who starts in their 30s. So much ahead by hundreds of thousands. And the reason is because they prioritized investments early, and uh, it's it's the reason they're so powerful. But they're not powerful right away, especially with all these investments. They take time, and if you think you're gonna get rich quick, yeah, if you speculate like crazy and you're willing to lose everything you have. But that doesn't work. It really doesn't work out for many people. Not only that, but you have to know what you're doing, and you have to have some kind of insider information. You have to be in the game before everybody, and really, the best chance is making actual investments. I mean, cryptocurrency ain't gonna get you there. It could if you know what you're doing, and if you have some sort of insider information, you collect data before everybody else, and you get into the market. Kind of like in a hedge fund, you have more information than somebody else. But then just start your own hedge fund. Why? Like, that's why just investments are so important. Even if you're not good at it, somebody else is, and they could help you out. I mean, even I'm doing this. I have my LinkedIn contact information on my channel, but just the power of investments, and I just gotta record these and just really share why they're so important. I mean, I'll keep going and say why they're important, but that's just the truth. And it might be funny in games now. You think, oh, this guy, oh, investments, yeah, I'll think about it. 5, 10 years, I'll maybe start right now. I'm living say you're a 20-year-old, you live in my 20s, I want to spend some money and whatever, and then you realize later on how much money you could have had if you invested it. It's unbelievable. It really is, and that's why it's so important. That can't stress enough. And really, the last thing I have for you is find somebody who can help you with investments. Yeah, some people on YouTube are great, but it's not financial advice. That's the thing you need to understand. That you need to seek out advice, like legal financial advice. Education will help get you there, but that puts all the risk on you, right? I mean, me sharing this is for educational purpose, because I want to stress that there's risk in doing it yourself. And I mean, I could get all technical about it, the standard deviations, your range of possibilities if you do it by yourself, and how you could lose it more than get somebody else help you manage it. And I've heard a lot of other things from some people on, I think, YouTube, and so I've seen on LinkedIn that they say, well, that 1% financial advisor fee is too much. Because, yeah, over time, that 1% compounds. But if you have no idea, and you're telling me for that much somebody could plan my future and make me a great deal of money and help you along the way. It's not like your financial advisor just, he's just there, doing your investments, charging the 1% fee. That comes with so many things, and I'm not specifically saying it for like those fees, but it really, at the end of the day, it's their fiduciary responsibility. That's why there's that license to get it. And really, just having any form of investment, even if you have no idea, somebody that can help you, which is wild. And the amount of money, I mean, if you take a look at a compound interest graph, you could look on investor.gov and just type in whatever you think you could chip in and your time frame, and it'll show you, along with a return rate. Put in 10%, and that's pretty much expected over a long period of time, and it'll make wonders you didn't even think was possible. Investments are so important, can't stress it enough. And if you want more from me, just stick around. I was on vacation, so I couldn't upload too much, but you know, gotta get to it while I can, and to make sure you start doing those investments. Find somebody, you could do it yourself, but you put all the burden of the risk on yourself. Whereas if you paid a fee to have less risk by somebody else doing it, yeah, the market could tank at any time, but if you have some guy who's managing it, he's probably changing it. I mean, there's so many methods. There's the classic 60-40, 60 stock, 60% stocks, 40% bonds. And and then you pull from those bonds when it's the market tanked, and that's enough to get you out by the time they appreciate back. But these things, it takes time to understand, and that's why they're also just important. Just stay on top of investments. And yeah, the video took a long, but really coming from deep down, it's so important. I mean, it's crazy. That's crazy. And yeah, stay on top of those investments.